coffee in the morning. Always trying to fucking hide and shit. What you hiding for? You fucking hide.
home, and all of a sudden I'm in handcuffs at the house. It's just trying my best to see things through the lens of the kids, not just him specifically. And then I wanted him to know, irregardless of what he's being accused of and going through, as Minister Louis Farrakhan said, when a man is down, don't laugh at him, don't make a mockery of him, don't beat him down, don't beat him down with your word.
Pause. Tyrese, you being a preacher now. You used to be a singer, Fuddy. You heard, Fuddy? Listen here, big fella. So you condoning him taking your little young girls to his crib. That's what it sounds like to me. This industry is crazy. Y'all, listen. I don't get it, bro. Like, why? Why when somebody do something that's fucked up in the industry or some weird ass pedophile shit, y'all niggas make it seem like you sound like you was in there on this shit too. To be honest, the way you sound right now, you sound like you was in on it. I don't know. Like these niggas really be sounding sus, bro. Like when they be talking, like what you like? Why are you trying to protect this man? If he did that shit, he did that shit. Just like Kels. Kels had to suffer the consequences too. Yo, nobody, you ain't come on here and do that about R. Kelly. Yeah, Diddy touched you too. That's what it was. Got you too, Tyrese. That's crazy. Niggas is wild, bro. You all here, man. Listen.
You don't have to agree with what somebody did. You don't have to even want to be associated with what somebody did. But everybody deserves prayer.
Now, however, after what the feds found, it's both shocking, appalling, and it's gonna make a lot of celebrities that was at his parties pit. It's off.
I trusted you completely.
And they're possibly gonna sue him as well. Love what you find. Only at Total Wine and More. Now trust me, y'all, these tapes are gonna ruin lives, relationships, and careers. Now everybody that thought that Diddy was being picked on because he was the next black billionaire to be taken down is definitely gonna be in shock.
I'm in shock.
We all are.
In a statement to the New York Post, an officer with the Department of Homeland Security said, "We believe that there is a disturbing history of ex-trafficking." The officer went on to say, "We are responding to concrete, detailed, explicit allegations.
No.
This is not random. We didn't choose his name out of a hat. We had allegations that we're following up on." Feds collected a number of electronic devices, including phones and cameras from Diddy's homes associated
He's about to run.
with a private jet.
Yeah, she was about to run from the camera now.
Including Cassie, is what actually launched the investigation. We have to understand that we didn't just decide on a whim. The judge had to sign off. This isn't a witch hunt, the officer continued. Feds claim that there are specific people that Diddy allegedly communicated with that they are looking for additional proof of.
Damn.
This actually includes photos, emails, texts, itineraries, and more. The officer says they are getting a lot of cooperation from the alleged victims. Now, Diddy hasn't actually been charged with anything while the investigation is still underway. However, the officer said he is free right now to do what he wants, but he is aware that if charges come down, we will get him. Now, guys, this is proof.
Shit, boy.
is officially done for.
I don't want to see you two going down, and you're going down.
Now, reportedly, the feds found secret tape recordings in Diddy's home. Allegedly, he appears to be a voyeur that likes to watch people on his hidden cameras he has all throughout his home. Now, producer Rodney Jones, aka Little Rod, complaint indicates Mr. Combs had hidden cameras in every room of his home. He has recordings of several celebrities, artists, music label executives, and athletes engaging in illegal activity. These individuals were recorded without their knowledge and consent. Mr. Combs possesses compromising footage of every person who has attended his freak-out parties and his house parties. So guys, all the explosive allegations came out about Diddy is definitely
got
shocking.
Tim do all the rules in his house, nobody don't even know.
Definitely are going to get their man.
Buddy,
So y'all drop a comment below, man. Let me know how y'all feel about this. How do y'all feel about Diddy life dissolving in front of our eyes? Y'all let me know how y'all feel about this, man. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on the videos. Share these videos, and I'll peep y'all on the next one. Can't get enough? Click on the screen to watch even more great content. Don't forget.
He ain't my friend, so I don't give a fuck. Y'all niggas ain't never did shit for me. Another black man.
What's up, y'all? Y'all know my slogan. I don't know it all, but I know what I've been through. Now, before we get into this video, please make sure you head on down to Instagram and follow us on our official Instagram page at HookahAnonymous_. We're able to be a little more explicit, a little more uncensored, and share content freely without running the risk of having our channel terminated. So, once again, make sure you head on down to Instagram and follow us on our official Instagram page at
I'm a single mom. I've had a lot of those imposter syndrome moments, but everyone deserves to be in that room. Everyone deserves to be able to self-grow. My children watching me going through this journey meant so much to me that I want to be a motivator.
This shit is wicked, boy.
What he's being known for with Cassie, I can only equate to some of the things that I've seen him and Kim go through.
Years old. You're a dad now. Would you ever send your kid to puffy camp?
Hell no.
I mean, back in the days when he was like 10 and I was a little bit older, his older brother, we used to fight over the frosted flakes. You know what I'm saying? Before claws was invented. You know what I'm saying? With my brother for real. We used to actually wrestle off of the frosted flakes.
Look, wrestle. Look, he just be wanting to touch on niggas and shit. Why the fuck you want to wrestle with niggas?
Yo, what the did Puff just say?
Kim is dead. Heavy D is dead. Andre Harrell is dead. The only two left are Puffy and Al, and Al almost died. Isn't that interesting?
There's no way this kid should be getting, this man should be getting an icon award when all he has done was destroy the people around him.
Crazy. That's OD wild.
Welcome back to another episode of Swamp Stories. For this one, we do something that we've never done before. We take a deep dive into one of America's most controversial figures. He's loved by some, hated by others, but everyone knows that he's a boss that you never want to piss off. As talented of a genius as he is, he's also known to be equally as angry, manipulative, and flat-out evil. So in this video, we gather information and opinions to create an unbiased and hopefully accurate depiction of the man himself. This is Surviving Diddy. So let's dive in. The story begins in 1970s Harlem, a very rough place at the time. Poverty and violence ruled the community, and people did what they had to do to survive. One of these people was Melvin Combs, a man who climbed the ranks as a dealer in Harlem. But Melvin lived a double life, one where he risked his life and freedom in the streets, and another where he provided for his wife and 2 children. But by all accounts, Melvin and his wife did a great job sheltering their kids from the chaotic streets. Sadly though, in the mid-1970s, Melvin would lose his life to a deal gone wrong. On paper, Melvin was just another statistic, one of the thousands in New York City. But to his son named Sean, he was his everything. Sean was in elementary school when his father passed away, and his mother always told him that it was a car crash. Her idea was to shelter him from all things bad, and she even moved him into the suburbs. So in the 6th grade, the family moved to the city of Mount Vernon, and Sean attended a private Montessori school. In many cases, going from inner city to a private school could be a struggle, but not for a young Sean Combs. He was highly intelligent and charismatic, an instant leader amongst boys. So Sean spent the rest of his adolescence in Mount Vernon, thriving amongst his wealthier classmates.
That nigga look crazy.
After high school, his good grades led him to the prestigious Howard University. There, he became an absolute star in all facets. He joined a fraternity and was known for throwing the best parties in DC.
Oh, that nigga was a step up. He was doing.
He was already a natural businessman, and everyone knew that he was destined for success.
You one of
All he had
those?
to do was wait
That's
patiently for his
crazy.
first major opportunity. For him, this would come rather early. In fact, it was in 1989 after his freshman year. While home in Mount Vernon, he linked up with a good childhood
Heavy D.
friend named Dwight Myers, also known as Heavy D. Growing up, Heavy D was like a big brother to Sean, a mentor in many ways. Well, Heavy was a talented rapper, and by 1989 he signed a major deal with Uptown Records. So over the summer he introduced his friend Sean to the owner of Uptown Records, a respected mogul by the name of Andre Harrell. Right off the bat, Andre took a special liking to a young Sean Combs, like an oddly special liking. I guess he saw major potential in him because he decided to give him a major opportunity right away. So in the summer of 1989, Sean was hired as an intern at Uptown Records. Over the summer, Sean spent countless hours in the studio and in meetings with major artists from around the country. It was truly a dream come true for a freshman in college, something that's pretty much unheard of. Well, the fall comes around and Sean has to return to campus in DC. Andre didn't want him to go and tried to convince him to drop out and stay with the label, but Sean's mother was not having it. So together they came to a compromise. Twice a week, Sean would take the train from DC to New York to be at the Uptown office. This was 4 hours each way, meaning that Sean spent a total of 16 hours a week just to remain an intern at Uptown. This really didn't make any sense. What could he bring to the table that required him to do all of this hassle? Well, you might find out in just a second, so hold on. This crazy lifestyle continued for a few months until Andre Harrell put his foot down. He offered him a full-time job at the label if he would drop out of Howard and return back to New York.
So this nigga dropped out of school.
Sean accepted it and it worked out extremely well.
Worked out.
This is because at just 20 years old, Sean was promoted to the vice president of the label. Whoa, now we're all thinking the same thing, aren't we? Why in the world would Andre Harrell promote a 20-year-old to the vice president of his label?
Touching
The
that
music
boy.
industry is one of the hardest to crack,
Touching
and
that
for most
boy.
it takes decades to get
That's
this
why
position.
touching that
So
boy. Didn't
how
like
did Sean
that.
Combs really get this job so young? And that leads us to a little bit of deep diving history. Back in the day, Andre Harrell had a very similar story to Sean Combs. He was another college student in the Bronx hoping to one day work in the music industry. And while in college, he was discovered by a legendary music mogul by the name of Clive Davis. For those who don't know, Clive is famous for founding Arista Records and for being one of the first moguls to come out of the closet. Well, Clive took a
Clive Davis
special
started
liking
all
to
this shit.
Andre and took him under his wing in the music industry.
Touch these
Long
boys.
story short, in 1985, Andre was given funding to start his own music label, one called Uptown Records. So just like Puff, Andre went out and discovered underground rappers, one of which being Heavy D. So again, this begs the same question. How did Andre get this position at such a young age? Well, according to Sean's former assistant, it's all a power dynamic with Clive Davis at the top. The insinuation is that the boss takes advantage of a young intern and will pay them back later on.
Nah, yeah, but this is crazy.
He loves the ability to manipulate and control people. Why? Most likely because he was victimized by his mentor, who loved to control people.
Touch it.
And his mentor was.
Andre Harrell.
Tell us how.
He was mentored by Clive Davis.
Don't tell me that Andre Harrell got by Clive Davis too. Don't tell me that Andre Harrell got by Clive Davis too.
Look, See? Touching on
Regardless
these
of the
boys,
truth,
man.
stories like these have always been rumored in entertainment.
Yeah.
Essentially, you get taken advantage of by those in power, and that's how you make it in your industry. Then the idea is that over time, the former victims become the perpetrators. Now, of course, these are all just rumors, but Jaguar does get more specific. When Sean was hired at...
Nah. Gotta be fucked up. I won't do it. Independent rapper, that's gonna be me. I won't do it, right? I won't. Y'all see this shit?
Human beings are so fragile.
Y'all hear this shit, man? This shit is crazy.
Uptown, Andre Harrell had a personal assistant named Kim Porter, and the rumor states that she caught Sean doing special favors for Andre.
But then again, you know, you added in for Andre because Andre used to make you. And Kim Porter had footage of it. And Kim Porter.
You can make Diddy suck the meat.
The rumors have never proven to be true, but they will be important later on. Well, make
Hey,
of all
yo.
that what you want, but
Hold
the
on.
fact is that Sean's career took off from here. After becoming the vice president of Uptown, Sean truly put his head down and grinded for success. He scouted the local
Ain't no
underground
fucking way.
scene in order to find his first diamond in the rough. This is how he discovered his first artist in 1991, an MC out of Long Island by the name of Craig Mack. Craig was an instant success, but Sean wasn't satisfied with just him. While scrolling through the Source magazine, Sean was intrigued by a rapper in the unsigned hype section. This would be a young rapper out of Brooklyn by the name of
B.I.G.
Notorious Big. So in March of 1992, Sean got in contact with Big and brought him to the studio. He was blown away by his talent and instantly signed him to Uptown Records. Boom. This was his
Don't
next
tell me he
Uptown
touched Big,
project.
too.
Now I know what you're thinking, but Biggie was a certified street dude and he was not going for that. It was
That's it.
strictly a
Here we go.
business
That's what I'm talking
relationship,
about.
and here is where
Wasn't
things
having
get
that shit.
interesting. It's the fall of 1992, and Biggie completes his first album to be released. The debut album is called Ready to Die, and both him and Sean feel very strongly about the project. But there's a major problem in the way. Uptown's parent company refuses to release the album. They expressed that the album was not to their liking and contained too many explicit lyrics. As you would expect, Sean was upset and so was Biggie. Sean did not respond well to the decision, and because of this, he was fired from Uptown Records in late 1992. This was devastating, but Andre Harrell had his back no matter what.
Final straw for me was when MCA wanted me to not put out the Biggie Smalls album because they didn't like the subject matter, and they wanted me to tell him he got to change his tone, and it wasn't up to me, I felt, to tell a generation what they could and could not do artistically. So I knew it wasn't going to work because he was coming from a new space and a new era. And Biggie Smalls more like in the streets and telling street stories. And he told them, well, I'm really letting you go so you can get rich. I'm really letting you go so you can get rich.
But was this really the case, or was something else at play? Puff had just gotten fired from his dream job at the age of 23. Most people would be devastated, but Sean fell right back on his feet. Just a month after being fired, Sean started his own label called Bad Boy Records. Obviously, the 23-year-old didn't have the pockets to fund it himself, so it was initially a partnership with Arista Records. Wait, let's get this straight. So Sean was fired by Uptown and then given his own label by Uptown's bosses. How does that make sense? Well, it's possible that Jaguar Wright was correct.
He stepped around Andre Harrell
Did some favors.
and gave you the keys to the kingdom. Andre was in line.
So again, here's the idea. Andre Harrell had to do special favors for Clive Davis in order to be hired and then get his own label. And once Andre established his label, he repeated the same cycle on Sean Combs. But for former Uptown singer and assistant Jaguar Wright, she believes that Clive Davis was in on it as well. I guess her idea is that Sean did things for Andre in order to be hired, and then he did things for Clive in order to climb the ranks. And being that Clive is above both of them, he had the authority to give Sean his own label.
Andre got passed over. Like, how do you go from being the president of Uptown and losing your entire company to your intern. Like Puff started out as an intern.
And that's because you know Clive Davis, and we all know he has lots of secrets. Clearly, he trusts you. He stepped around Andre Harrell and gave you the keys to the kingdom. Andre was in line.
If the rumored power dynamic is true, then Clive Davis did replace Andre Harrell with Sean Combs, meaning that now, instead of Andre, it was Sean doing special favors for Clive. And as a reward, Clive made Andre drop him from Uptown and gave him his own label. Of course, though, this is all silly speculation. But what's not speculation is that Uptown's artists were released from their contracts and were able to sign with Bad Boy Records. This way, Sean now had full control over Biggie and Craig Mack. Well, after starting Bad Boy, Sean started going by the alias Puff Daddy. This is a name given to him by his mom because when he was a kid, he used to huff and puff whenever he was mad. So now we enter the era of Puff Daddy and Bad Boy Records. Puff's Bad Boy released their first album in July of 1994, which was Craig Mack's Flavor in Your Ear. The album took off to immediate success, and this is how Bad Boy entered the industry. Then just 2 months later, Biggie's debut album Ready to Die released as well. Both albums did well, and Puff was eager to keep it going. So just 2 weeks after Biggie's album, Bad Boy released Craig Mack's second album, Funk the World. Puffy couldn't miss, and he was eager to recruit more and more new artists. He was becoming so respected in the industry that other moguls were coming to him for advice. And that takes us down to Atlanta, Georgia. In 1992, music mogul L.A. Reid discovered a 12-year-old singer named Usher Raymond. While watching him perform at a local talent show, he saw some Michael Jackson in him. He was so impressed that he signed him to his label LaFace Records at just 13 years old. Interestingly enough, LaFace Records was under the Arista umbrella. Just keep that in mind. Well, the story goes that in order to prep Usher for his music career, he was sent to go live with none other than Puff Daddy. So at 14 years old, Usher was sent to live with Puffy full-time, something known as Puffy's Flavor Camp. I guess the idea was for Puffy to mentor him and send him down the right path. But according to Usher, there was a lot more going on than just that.
I moved to New York City, and I lived with Sean Puffy Combs for a year.
That's the crazy thing. Now, that was L.A. Reid's idea, right? We're sending you over to something called Puffy Flavor Camp.
There you go.
To learn
Flavor Camp?
Yeah, that's what it was called. And you're going to go to Puff Daddy's. He's
In the 90s, do you understand what that's like?
Puffy's place was like just filled with chicks and orgying like nonstop, right?
No, not really. I mean, but hey, it was curious. I got a chance to see some things.
Yeah, but you were 13. What were you
I
saying?
went there to see the lifestyle.
Right.
And I saw it. And it was, but I don't know if I could indulge and understand what I was even looking at. It was pretty wild.
So nobody tried to, some woman didn't come along.
I didn't say that.
Okay.
I didn't say that. What I did say is that there were very curious things taking place, and I didn't necessarily understand.
Biggie Smalls was there.
Biggie Smalls was there. Lil' Kim, Craig Mack.
All these people are hanging around.
Yeah, man. Faith Evans,
And your
Joey C,
parents were
Mary J.
okay?
Blige. They didn't know nothing about this shit.
Oh.
I was having a good time. You know what I mean?
Does he have you doing any chores? Are you doing dishes at all? I mean, to keep you humble somewhat? Or are you just like, could you stay up till 4 in the morning with them, a party?
I mean, I could. I actually stayed up longer than them.
And do you have money? What's going on?
I mean, I had like per diem. I had like,
What
like
a
a living.
life.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
14 years old. You're a dad now. Would you ever send your kid to Puffy Camp?
Hell no.
Many people out there believe that Usher was Puffy's first victim of the power ritual. There's no proof to show that, but these clips may convince you that something strange was going on.
I mean, back in the days when he was like 10 and I was a little bit older, his older brother, we used to fight over the frosted flakes. You know what I'm saying? Before pause was invented. You know what I'm saying? But it's my brother for real. We used to actually wrestle off of the frosted flakes because he used to always get up early.
Yo, what the fuck did Puff just say? Nobody's putting couches for me. Puff just said we used to wrestle over the frosted flakes. And we're streaming live. That was
Kevin Hart.
So what do you guys think? Is Usher a part of surviving dating, or is this just a silly assumption?
Wrestle
Well, now
over
we
the
move on
frosted
to the
flakes?
next chapter.
No. Ain't no fucking way on wrestling, nigga. You can have the cereal, fam. You can
Regardless of all
have
the
it.
nonsense, Puff
Don't
was
touch
truly
me, man.
genius at discovering and developing artists, and in the process, he was gaining immense wealth and power in the industry. As you would expect, the success got to his head pretty quickly.
It's my father.
By many accounts, Puff grew an obsession with having complete control. He wanted control over everyone around him, even for the silliest things. So here's the first example. The year is 1995, and Craig Mack is eager to continue his success. So he puts together his third studio album, one by the name of Operation Get Down. The story goes that he brings the album to Puff to get it released, but things don't go as planned. Puff allegedly tells Craig Mack that if he wants the album released, he has to fire his manager and then hire a bad boy manager. But Craig's manager is one of his closest friends and has been rocking with him since day one. Because of this, Craig is loyal to him and tells Puffy no. Even though it's a silly request, Puffy is pissed because he doesn't have control over the situation.
Puff told Craig Mack if he didn't change management, he wasn't with him no more. Craig wasn't getting rid of his management. Craig said, yo, listen here, man, I'm not changing my manager just because you want to. Puff said, yo, I ain't that kid no more. Not at all. I was right there when he said that. Told Craig Mack, you don't change your manager, I ain't fucking with you.
Craig stands on his principles and refuses to fire his manager, so Puffy decides to be petty. He completely stops paying him and refuses to release his music. This made things awkward at Bad Boy, as Craig no longer had the power to control his career or his narrative. In this 1995 interview, you can see the awkwardness on full display. Like, Craig Mack could not believe that Diddy would really lie on camera like that.
I'm sure you got much things in store for my
Yeah, definitely. We got a new album we're working on him to drop in January.
You can see the disbelief in Craig Mack's face, like, no way he's saying this. From here, frustrations grew further between Bad Boy and Craig as Craig felt betrayed by his boss. I was your first artist. I was the one who took the risk and signed to your label. And more importantly, I've made you a whole lot of money. And now you're willing to throw away my career over a silly manager. What is going on? But not only did Puff want his career to dwindle, it's also rumored that he wanted him killed. Craig knew what Puff was capable of, so everywhere he went, he rolled around with a blicky, something very risky in New York City. He even contemplated getting rid of Puff in order to save his own life.
I had a gun in my lap.
You know what?
And I'm sitting there and I'm talking to God. I'm like, Lord, I don't want to do this. But if it comes to getting ugly with somebody trying to kill me, I'm going to have to do something first or do something to prevent that from happening.
Yo, who was him? Oh, never mind. Damn, yo.
In what world should an artist have to fear for his life because his own boss wants to harm him? Well, Craig says that Puff tried to set him up at the studio, but when he showed up with certified goons, he decided to back off. So thankfully, the situation didn't end terribly, but it was the start of a new era for Puffy. Not only had he become a control freak, but now he was bringing the threat of violence to the table. Slowly, the golden child of the industry was becoming the villain behind closed doors. And now we enter Diddy's violent era. While the Craig Mack drama was taking place internally, a whole nother beef was stewing in the industry. By the fall of 1994, Bad Boy had competition for rap's biggest label, and this would be California's Death Row Records. Particularly, Tupac had become the biggest star in rap, and everyone wanted a feature. In this case, Uptown Records producer Ron G wanted Tupac to record a verse for Biggie Smalls. So Pac asked for $7,000, and Bad Boy agreed to pay for the verse. So Pac records the verse with Ron G and then is told to go to the Quad Studios in Manhattan to pick up the money. And that takes us to November 30th, 1994. Pac arrives in Manhattan and walks to the Quad Studios. As he's entering the building, he hears some Bad Boy associates yelling his name from the upstairs window. Pac is excited to meet with Bad Boy and he walks in the lobby to take the elevator upstairs. But as he approaches the elevators, two men in masks are waiting for him right there. Before he can run, the men whip out and reach for his pockets. Pac tries to fight them off, but that's when the men make a wild decision. While being carried out of the lobby, Pac flips off Notorious Big and other Bad Boy associates, assuming that they set him up. Thankfully though, Tupac would survive his injuries after a successful surgery. Speaking of injuries, if you or a loved one are ever injured, you deserve the absolute best on your side. That's because your injury could be worth millions. In that case, you can contact Morgan & Morgan, America's biggest injury law firm. Yup, with Morgan & Morgan on your side, you could get the money you deserve, and that's a fact. Insurance companies often lowball you to get you in and out of the door. But no, with Morgan & Morgan, they fight hard to get you what you deserve. And if you don't believe me, check this out. This past December, a Florida man was awarded $12.2 million when insurance only offered $350,000.
What?
That's 34 times higher. Yep, and Morgan & Morgan has over 4,000 support staff available at any hour, and they have over 100 offices nationwide, plus 1,000 local lawyers available. Here's the best part. It only takes a few minutes to see if you have a case, and if so, it's free unless you win. So did you know that you can start your claim with America's biggest injury law firm with just one click? It's literally so easy. To start your claim, go to forthepeople.com/swamp stories, or just click the link in the description. Well, after the incident, Pac wholeheartedly believed that Bad Boy set him up to be killed. At the time, though, he couldn't do anything about it as he had his hands tied with a legal case involving a woman. In fact, the day after his surgery, he appeared in court where he was sentenced to 8 months in Rikers Island. While incarcerated, the national story was that Bad Boy set him up to be robbed. On top of this, Pac did an interview while incarcerated where he said that Bad Boy did it overtly. He claimed that when he was on the way to the studios, Puff kept calling him to see where he was. He wanted to know when exactly he would get in, and that was Pac's main reasoning for thinking they set him up. Because of this, Puff was under major scrutiny, and he needed to clear it up.
So I said, what's up to him? I'm about to get on the elevator, and he comes out shot.
The Tupac article had me pissed off, you know what I'm saying? Because first of all, he dissed my man. Said my man turned his back on him, and I know for a fact that didn't happen, you know what I'm saying? And like the rumors that's spreading is on some tip like we set him up, you know what I'm saying? And that's crazy,
If there's any psychologists watching, please let me know why Puff's eyes are having a dance battle. Anyways, Puff was not done clearing the air. In fact, he visited Tupac at Rikers Island to assure him that Bad Boy had nothing to do with it. But was this really the case? Because Puff's bodyguard claims that he let this happen to Pac.
The people who knew what was going to happen to Pac was in the studio, probably was in the part of the Quad studio with Jimmy Hitchman, and that was Andre Harrell and Puffy. So, Puff knew. Andre Harrell knew.
If Gene Deal's perspective hasn't convinced you, then maybe what happens next will. In February of 1995, Biggie released a hit song called Who Shot You, which many people think is a Tupac diss. And one of these people was Pac himself, who felt betrayed and lied to by Puff. You told me one thing to my face, but your actions proved otherwise. To an alpha male like Pac, that was the ultimate disrespect. Well, after the record, all peace was off the table and Death Row cut ties with Bad Boy. That takes us to August 3rd, 1995. It's the annual Source Awards in New York City, and Death Row are nominated for Soundtrack of the Year. Of course, tensions are in the air because the show is in New York, and everyone is curious if anything will happen. Well, Death Row wins the award, and Suge takes the stage.
First of all, I'd like to thank God. Second of all, I'd like to thank my whole entire Jumbo family on both sides, you know what I'm saying? Like to tell Tupac, keep his guards up, we ride with him. And one other thing I'd like to say, any artists out there want to be an artist and want to stay a star, you don't have to worry about the daily producer trying to be all in the videos, all on the records, dancing, coming down far.
This was obviously a sneak diss at Puff, and the crowd was not feeling it. To make matters worse, Snoop Dogg takes the stage and doubles down.
The East Coast don't love Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg. The East Coast ain't got no love for Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg and Death Row. Y'all don't love us.
This moment here officially kicked off the Bad Boy versus Death Row beef. This meant that Puff's gangster was now being put to the test for real. Being that they exist on opposite ends of the map, interactions would not be often, but being in the same industry, the sides were bound to cross paths. September 23rd, 1995. Here we are in beautiful, well, not at the time, but here we are in Atlanta, Georgia for Jermaine Dupri's birthday celebration at the Platinum House nightclub. Here, much of the rap industry will be in attendance by midnight. Early in the night, though, it's just the Bad Boy crew and associates hanging in the club before it opens. This would, of course, be Puffy, his bodyguard Wolf, Too Short, Dallas Austin, and plenty more. So they're all chilling in the club and a couple of hours go by. And this is when they receive some unexpected visitors. At 10 p.m., the Death Row crew arrive at the Platinum House parking lot. First, a Death Row associate named Big Jake walks in the club to scope it out. He then looks around and sees Puff Daddy and Jermaine Dupri sitting at a table in the corner. He instantly walks back to the parking lot to tell Suge where they are. Then together, the massive duo walk into the club headed for Puffy. They walk straight up to the table, and that's when Suge Knight slaps Jermaine Dupri directly across the face. This is simply to get to Puffy, who's standing right behind him. Suge then grabs Puff by his arm and brings him in. He begins yelling at Puff, but that's when Wolf gets in between them. He tells Suge it's not gonna go down like that. So it turns into a brawl, and they're all escorted out of the club. After all this, Suge and Puff actually hug it out and squash the beef. But then out of nowhere, shots go off across the street. So they all duck down and look over to see what's going on. All it is a man across the street shooting his gun into the air. But while everyone is distracted, a man walks right behind Big Jake.
We own the club, the Platinum House. I had been at Jermaine Dupri's party and I seen Jake, and he was looking for Puff and they was looking for Jermaine them there. And I didn't see them at their own party. Jermaine Dupri, his security, Puff with Wolf. And Jake looks in and see these guys. Suge came back, boom, 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 boom. He came right in and slapped the out of Jermaine Dupri. Boom! And Puff was standing right there. He snatched Puff with one hand. Suge had him with one hand and was shaking him. Then Wolf reached over and grabbed him. Shit ain't going down like this no more. Standing there, Suge's in front of with Puff. They walked to the limo. All of a sudden, somebody started shooting across the street. And I see this dude just busting, pop, 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 pop. They were called the play for the overlay. They started shooting across the street to make everybody look. We looked. The dude came out of nowhere and just touched Jake. And Jake was about 400 pounds.
Big Jake was Suge's best friend and Death Row security wherever they went. So this loss was devastating to Death Row, but they had no idea who did it. But then a few days later, 3 witnesses reported that Puff's bodyguard Wolf was the assailant. Whoa, did Puff's bodyguard take out Suge Knight's best friend? Well, about a week later, Wolf was arrested for the incident. So, does this mean that Puff ordered the hit of Suge Knight's best friend? Death Row definitely assumes so, but Wolf was able to beat his case about a year later. In the meantime, though, the beef was up. With Tupac shot and now Big J killed, Death Row was looking at Puffy like an absolute menace. And coincidentally, not too long after the loss of Big Jake, Tupac was released from Rikers Island. As soon as he got back to LA, he hopped in the studio and recorded Hit 'Em Up.
Industry. Wicked, boy.
One, if not the most disrespectful song in rap history. He dissed Biggie by saying that he smashed his girl and pretty much obliterated the whole Bad Boy camp. As you would expect, Puffy was pissed. But at this time, he felt invincible, so he decided to do the unthinkable. He decided to schedule a Bad Boy tour on the West Coast from Seattle down to San Diego. However, he knew that the tour was a risk, so he decided to tap in with his best connection in LA. This would be a man named Keefy D, who he met at a hydraulic shop in Compton. Essentially, in 1994, Puff asked Keefy if he could borrow one of his cars for a video, and they locked in from there.
He had called up our hydraulic place and asked to use a lowrider.
But Keefy wasn't just a car guy, he was also a high-ranking member of Compton's Southside Crips. So naturally, when Puff announced his tour, he hired Keefy and the Southside Crips to protect him.
He had a West Coast tour coming up. The Zippy came pick me up, we rolling up Greenleaf in our neighborhood, and his phone rang, boom, and it was Puff. And he's like, you think the school would come out here and do concerts. I'm like, well, it wouldn't be cool. Just let me know the dates and give me some tickets. We had a Crips there, but I see he was trying to play us against each other. Crips, Bloods, you know what I'm saying? Sugar Blood, we the Crips.
So behind the scenes, Puff was potentially creating a beef between Compton Crips and LA Bloods.
I guess he played it smart. Dude with the red, I get the blue.
Well, thankfully, nothing happened and the tour went smoothly. But later that year, they would run into each other at the Soul Train Awards and they would have a standoff backstage. Allegedly, Tupac and Suge pulled up on Puffy.
You hear the door go boom, and then you see Tupac with Suge and about 1,000 Bloods and Crips walking down the middle of the auditorium, just screaming because Big them had just went off. So just imagine Tupac coming, walking down the aisle, walking up the steps, and just walking into the back. It wouldn't have been too good if they got hold to him, because they couldn't handle what they had with them at that time. Like, nah, they were totally outnumbered.
Puff felt embarrassed and disrespected, and something needed to be done. So allegedly that next night, he took Keefe D out to dinner on the Sunset Strip. And there, according to Keefe, Puff offered him $1 million to get rid of Pac.
Meeting Puff here at this place called Greenblatt's Deli on Sunset, and he tells Keefe D, man, I just need you to take care of this situation with Suge and Tupac.
Keefe, he's claiming that Puffy offered him $1 million to kill Suge or Tupac. Both.
Yeah, both their names came up.
$1 million in 1995 is equivalent to over $2 million today. And to a Compton Crip who's probably broke, this is life-changing money. If this is actually true, then Puff is a cold man. Because there's no way in the world that any gang member would ever turn this down. And Puffy knew this. It was only a matter of time. September 7th, 1996. It's a big day in Las Vegas as Mike Tyson is set to fight at the MGM Grand. Of course, for the big fight, all of the celebrities are in town, including Tupac. Well, it's the afternoon and everyone is having fun before the event. Particularly, Tupac and Suge Knight are walking through the casino lobby. That's when they're approached by a man who's being disrespectful. This would be a young man named Orlando Anderson, the first cousin of Keefe D and fellow Southside Crip. Well, the story goes that he disrespects Pac, and Pac stalks him in front of everyone. Orlando is furious, so he goes and gives a statement to police. Then he meets up with Keefe D and tells him about what happened at the casino. So Keefe and Orlando sit in the hotel room thinking about what they can do. Then they get a call from a very important factor. This would be a New York plug and associate of Puffy by the name of Eric Von Zip. Zip allegedly calls them and says to meet in his rental car. Keefe and Orlando hop in and he hands them a Glock 40. They then hop out and Zip takes off. Keefe and Orlando then hop in their own car. 11 p.m. The Tyson fight empties out and Tupac hops in Suge's BMW 7 Series. Suge then pulls off and stops at a red light on Las Vegas Boulevard. Coincidentally, Orlando and Keefe happen to be reaching the same red light. They hear some girls yelling Tupac's name and approaching the BMW. That's when they pull alongside the car. From there, Orlando rolls his window down and the rest is history. The incident shocked the world and shifted all the attention away from the Mike Tyson victory. The world's biggest rapper was now in critical condition and not expected to survive. 5 days later, on September 13th, Tupac was pronounced dead at the hospital. Everyone wanted to know who did this, but no witnesses ever came forward. Well, here is where things get juicy. Damn, that was corny. Right after the news broke, Keefe D recalls getting a call from Puffy. He claims that Puff asked him, "Was that us?" and promised him the $1 million reward.
You said that Puffy called and said, "Was that us?"
Because Puffy called too, right? Yeah, him and Biggie's wife. What's her name?
Victory?
Yeah.
So tell me about that. Them two calls and everything.
He just asked, "Was that us?"
Who said that?
Puff did.
Now it's time for Puff to pay up. He allegedly sends $1 million check to Zip and tells him to wire it to Keefe.
Zip had a check in his right pocket, right back pocket, and that check was for $1 million. And that check was for $1 million.
Now, all that needs to happen is for Zip to deliver it to Keefe, and his life is changed forever. But did you guys think that that would actually happen?
So the FBI told you that Zip kept that money. So
They said Zip's a dirty. Everybody cross you.
you guys never got any money
Never.
for anything.
Nothing. Not even a pair of Sean John drawers.
Man, what was Puff thinking? It's almost like he orchestrated this.
But he never gave the money to
But
him.
thank God he never gave him the money, right? Think about it. If he gave the money, Puffy will be in prison now, money for hire.
You know, Eric Von Zip keeping the money kind of shielded everyone from the situation in
So he's a savior.
type of way.
According to the FBI, because Zip didn't give the money to Keefe, Puffy dodged prison. But here's my question. Is Puff really responsible for what happened to Tupac? Yes, he did offer the $1 million, but it was Tupac jumping Orlando Anderson that really caused the situation, right? Well, Keefe disagrees, as he thinks that Puff is to blame.
If I wouldn't have never met him, I would have never been involved in this shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, man. So you feel like Puffy, he's the reason for your empire and Suge empire going down because of the whole situation with Tupac.
Exactly. He the only one still bowling. Because he pitted us against each other, it seemed like.
But what do you guys think? Is Puff responsible for the loss of Tupac, or is Keefe D a grown man not taking responsibility for his actions? Well, if you ask Diddy, he'll tell you that he had nothing to do with it.
That was the documentary that claimed, which we know wasn't true.
Yeah, check this out. We don't talk about things that are nonsense. We don't even entertain nonsense, my brother. So we not even going to even go there with all due respect, but
Which we never believed, by the way.
Yeah, thank you.
Regardless of what you believe, the truth is that Puff was becoming the boogeyman of the rap game. With Big Jake and now Pac gone, Puff felt like nobody could mess with him. His violent ways were just starting, and that takes us to the next chapter of the story. After the passing of Tupac, Puff went about his life like nothing had happened. But for whatever reason, his bad boy artists were not so secure in their ways. In fact, they were very cautious of their whereabouts and made sure to avoid California at all costs. Eventually, though, they would have to go back to Cali. And that takes us to the Soul Train Awards of 1997. The awards are held in Los Angeles, and because of this, the bad boy artists do not want to go. In particular, Mace thinks it's too risky, and Biggie decides to not go at all. He happens to have a broken femur, and he tells Puff that he's in too much pain to fly back and forth. He also mentions that going to LA is not the best idea, which is really the real reason. But Puff tells him that he'll be safe and nothing will happen. And according to the bad boy president Kirk Burroughs, he kept convincing him relentlessly.
We could not go, but Biggie did have an inconvenience. He had a car accident. I think it was in Brooklyn, maybe downtown Brooklyn. He had a broken femur at that time, and he was recovering from that. Big size person could not really sit comfortably in a plane, not even first class, with a cast on. It was uncomfortable. He was talked into going to the LA portion of the trip.
Strangely though, Puff doesn't care if Biggie goes to the award show, he really just wants him at the after party.
Yo, that whole week, man, Puff was like, yo, man, Big, you gotta come to this party, and he wasn't getting a response that he needed from Big to make sure that he was going to the party.
Finally, Biggie caves into Puff and decides to come to LA. But what Puffy doesn't know is that directly after the award show, Biggie will be flying to London. This is because Clive Davis booked him for a major media appearance where he'll be introduced to a worldwide audience. March 7th, 1997. The award show takes place and everything goes smoothly. That's when Biggie tells Puff that he's headed for the airport to fly to London. As you would expect, Puffy is livid, and he calls Clive Davis right away. He tells him to cancel Biggie's appearance in London because he wants him at the party in LA.
It was put together so that Biggie could receive an international press junket in London with all press from around the world meeting him that Saturday, Sunday after the Friday award show night.
So he knew that.
Late Friday night.
He knew what was going to happen to Big when they went. Yeah, he knew that.
Call
That was
Alistair,
fuck. That nigga knew.
cancel it. You go. You represent it. You go. He's not going. he wants to stay here in LA. So we knew how big of an event that could be.
Strange, right? Wouldn't you want your artist to fulfill this amazing
That
opportunity?
nigga knew.
Making him skip out on a worldwide appearance just so he could go to some silly party? It doesn't quite make sense. On top of this, earlier in the day, Mace warned him that some guys might be coming after them.
They was telling them that they wanted Big and Puff, and he was alright, he was good. Me and Mace spoke, and then he was telling me all them bloods and everything that was out there.
If this wasn't enough, Gene Deal informed him as well.
I said, Puff, I got some intel. The guys are coming to kill us tonight at the museum party.
Here was Puff's response.
He said, Gene, I don't want to hear that. He said, you ain't got to go if you don't want to go.
So Puff knew there was a threat and brushed it off.
Crazy.
Puff, Big, and most of Bad Boy are at Steve Stout's party in the Hollywood Hills. At 12:30 a.m., LAPD show up to shut down the party due to a noise complaint. Because of this, everyone at the party is forced to go their separate ways. For Biggie, he rolls out with his friends D-Rock, Lil Cease, and his driver G-Money. At 12:45, they stop at a red light on Fairfax and Wilshire, and that's when a Chevy Impala pulls right beside them. The incident shocked the world again, and everyone assumed that this was revenge for Tupac. Now, of course, this may be true, but something that happened directly after is very strange. Puff took a flight to San Diego just 2 hours after Biggie's passing.
Puff went to San Diego and they put him on a jet about 2 hours after Big died.
See, I don't know everything about the world, but what I do know is that when your best friend dies, you don't leave them. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense, and all I can think of is, was Puff involved in the passing of Biggie? Well, his bodyguard, Gene Deal, seems to think so.
You gotta look at what people do, man. You know Pac just got
Where's the
killed.
T-Mac family?
It ain't no kind of business Big was
I mean
doing.
the Mac family.
Big,
Who's
Big
that?
couldn't even walk. He couldn't run. Puff ain't want none of that beef. So what I'm gonna do is, y'all want the sheep? I'm gonna put him out the pasture. Catch him if you can. If you the wolf if you got that wolf in you, catch him if you can. Why in the hell you would put your man in a situation? There's plenty of places Big could have been. Why the West Coast?
Did Puff sacrifice Biggie in order to stop the beef on the West Coast? You guys tell me. There's no way that Puff would do this to his closest friend and main artist, right? I mean...
That nigga's crazy. Boy, that nigga wild.
After his passing, he even released songs to commemorate him. Not to mention that he spoke highly of him in interviews as well.
And as far as my theory, it would be inadequate for me to speculate. I would just be like everybody else to speculate on who did this or why it was done. I mean, one thing I do know is that it was evil. It was ignorant, and it hurts. You know what I'm saying? What has it been like emotionally for you? I mean, it's a tragedy. Seeing a close friend like that gunned down. What have you been going through? Honestly, you know, it's been hard. I mean, that's the only way I could describe it, you know. When it wasn't supposed to be like this. Let's talk about that. Tupac's recorded death about 6 months ago. Kind of showed how vulnerable rap artists are. Yes. Did Biggie at all feel that his life was in danger? He never told me, I can only speak, he never told me he felt that his life was in danger. We always, me and him, we always had conversations, and I'm very close with God, and through my relationship, I was trying to show him how God is his friend, and he was taking God as his friend. It was a gradual thing.
After seeing this interview, are you guys convinced that Puff had nothing to do with it? Who knows, but wow is all I have to say. But I'm not the only one who feels uneasy. In fact, Bad Boy's second biggest artist felt sick to his stomach. In the height of his rap career, Mace decided to leave Bad Boy and to become a pastor. His relationship with Puff had fallen apart, and they've been arguing over money ever since. So with Biggie and Mace gone, Bad Boy was falling apart at the helm. But leave it up to the genius of Diddy, he would quickly replace their talent. In 1998, Puffy would discover an East Flatbush rapper by the name of Shine Poe. Shine was brought to him by DJ Clark Kent, and he was so impressed that he signed him to a major deal on the spot. The deal was worth millions of dollars, and Shine was given 3 cars and 2 homes. Shine was Diddy's new protege, and it was working out really well. They were quote-unquote best friends, and Puffy had him rolling with him everywhere. Maybe he was a changed man, and this was the artist he was not gonna fall out with. Or maybe Sean Combs just is who he is. December 27th, 1999. It's a big night for Shine as his debut album is finally finished and it's ready to drop after New Year's. So to celebrate, Puff takes him out to Club New York in Times Square. It's Puffy, his bodyguard Wolf, the infamous J-Lo, and of course Shine. As they're strolling through the club, Puff accidentally bumps into a man named Matthew Allen, also known as Scar. This is bad because Scar happens to be a notorious street dude from Brooklyn. Well, he instantly turns around after being bumped and sees who it is. He then decides to make a scene and starts yelling at Puff in front of everyone. Then, according to witnesses, he threatens Puff and even threatens Shine as well. He then does the unthinkable. He grabs for his waistband and all hell breaks loose. Shots ring out and everyone runs outside the club. 3 people were injured in the incident, but thankfully everyone made it. But here's where things get interesting. In typical New York fashion, Scar went straight to the police. He told them that both Puff and Shine targeted him. So the next morning, Sean and Shine were both arrested. Could this be the incident that finally takes Puff down? Puff hired the 2 best lawyers in America, Johnny Cochran and Ben Brofman. But of course, Bad Boy did not provide a good lawyer for Shine. Either way, both of them were facing major time in New York prison. So here's how it went. For Puffy, his amazing lawyers worked hard and he was found not guilty on any charges. For Shine though, his case went completely differently. He admitted to letting a shot off in the air, but says that he was not the one responsible for the 3 victims. However, the jury didn't believe him and he was sentenced to 9 years in prison. Shine felt betrayed by Puff during the trial. That's because in his eyes, he saved Puffy's life and Jennifer Lopez's. On top of this, he claims that Puffy sent a witness to testify against him in order to take the blame off himself.
People probably have the impression that you're just consumed with the idea that, justice wasn't served here and that somebody turned his back on you.
It's not a matter of, turning your back on me. Like, how do you call a witness to testify against your comrade? But I'm facing 25 years, and you looking at probation. Yeah, those are the things that, you understand, are unacceptable. You don't have to hold my hand. You don't have to do nothing, but don't try to hurt me. Where, he calling the witnesses, to do me dirty. Then you understand that, well, man, if these guys is working for him, because I went to the judge like 3 times complaining about inefficiency with my lawyers, because they was just dumbing out.
So now, did Puffy sacrifice Shine so he could dodge a prison sentence?
We talking about cash backing, not a game.
We talking about cash back.
We talking about.
You're talking about bragging?
No, cash backing.
Word. We talking about cash back. Cash back.
Cash backing.
Cash back like a pro.
With Chase Freedom Unlimited, how do you cash back?
There's emotion.
The fuck was that?
Mira, pico de gallo.
So we all know Jay-Z and Diddy are pretty close. But with Diddy now in the public spotlight for all the wrong reasons, Ice Cube has come out.
That's some bullshit, bro.
Who are you talking to up there?
I hear the shit that be going on, my nigga.
Hello. Who are you talking to up there?
There's 2 people, I don't know them people. One said, where your girl at?
What?
He said, where your girl at? Cause what, nigga? Said T-Mac family, some shit like that. Well, the Mac family. That's probably his slogan when he come in people live. I'm coming here with that shit. You still in here? So where y'all from? We ain't from where you from. Hmm?
So you image yourself after Gay Painter. Your big homie want to look like the Gay Painter.
What are we talking about here?
You look like my sister.
We've also seen an FBI agent and numerous other officers going in and out of the house that is behind it. You can see the beige complex there. That home, we understand, according to police, we've also seen an FBI agent and numerous other officers going in and out of the house that is behind it. You can see the beige complex there. That home, we understand, according to property records, owned by Sean Combs, or Diddy, as he is known. That property, again, being searched at this hour. We all right. I'm like you too. No, you.
Staten Island, Florida.
What the fuck is a Staten Island?
That's Staten Island.
That's Star Island.
Huh?
That's Star Island.
That's Star Island.
Police, we've also seen
Oh, Star Island, Florida.
It's my highs, little something, ain't nothing major, you know. Nigga don't be showing that and shit like that. Cause I
Comedian Darion D. Money Childs joked about dogs passing on an online post. A week later, they already.
That's what I'm gonna get you.
Welcome to More Stories. In this episode, I'll be discussing
something. Drink, bro. Your shit's powdered donut white.
If you do it, if I do it, nigga, I did. Nigga, I think you better sit back down, nigga. I think you better sit back down. Cause I slang your ass. No, you think you gon' slap me. I think you better sit down, boy. I ain't about to sit down shit. But my mama the only motherfucker tell me to sit down. Nigga, get your fucking finger out my fucking face, nigga, before I slap your ass. Nigga, fuck you, slap me.
Nah, I gotta see this.
No.
If I do it, nigga, I did. Nigga, I think you better sit back down, nigga. I think you better sit back down. Cause I slang your ass. No, you think you gon' slap me. I think you better sit down, boy. I ain't about to sit down shit. But my mama the only motherfucker tell me to sit down. Nigga, get your fucking finger out my fucking face, nigga, before I slap your ass. Nigga, fuck you, slap me. Slap me, I'm here. You better sit your ass down. I ain't better do shit, but do what I wanna do. No, you can't do what you wanna do. I do what the fuck I wanna do. I'm a grown-ass man with some grown-ass thoughts. Shut the fuck up, crackhead ass nigga. Look here, bro. Look here, bro. Look here, bro. What did you do? Look here, bro. Get the fuck off my boy. What did you do? Look here, bro. What did you do? What did you do? What did you do? What did you do? Y'all knock my motherfucking fan out. What is they doing?
Yeah, albino grandpa.
What is you doing? It's time for nigga.
It's time to get the fuck off my porch with this shit.
Nigga, that's a grown-ass man. Fuck your grown ass.
Yo, respect keeping poised though, man. You say y'all get over
on the motherfuckers. Winner right there would have been broke.
Yeah.
That nigga does like fucking time.
Hell yeah.
My nigga Dre ain't playing. He tired of this.
Here.
You're sweet.
Man.
Look at y'all, look at y'all.
Hi, man.
Punching time, man.
It's punching time. It's punching time.
Last time I saw you
Because I'm high. I'm high. See, you ain't hot. I am. So I'm gonna respect my brother. I'm hot. You may not be. And I bet you. We'll. That's it. I guarantee you.
That nigga says punching time. I'm trying to find some other funny ass Diddy memes, my nigga. Them shits be hilarious, bro.
I want to take a moment of silence for all Meek Mill fans and all Philadelphia niggas around the globe right now. Because they got him. And by they, I mean Diddy. Diddy got Meek Mill, and it's all coming out in a lawsuit.
Bro, I remember a time when Meek Mill tweeted that D is good as hell. And we were just all like, okay, well, I don't know, the D can mean a lot of things, right?
Yo, I swear to God, this man
Nah, they got
be blowing me, bro.
I want to take a moment of silence for all Meek Mill fans and all Philadelphia niggas around the globe right now.
Crazy.
Because they got him. And by they, I mean Diddy. Diddy got Meek Mill, and it's all coming out in a lawsuit.
Bro, I remember a time when Meek Mill tweeted that D is good as hell. And we were just all like, okay, well, I don't know, the D can mean a lot of things, right?
Yo, I swear to God, this man Meek Mill be blowing me, bro. All you had to say is, I did not fiddle with Diddy. That's all you had to say. Now you over here saying the lawsuit is AI generated, it's fake, bro. The lawsuit is real, gang. You're being accused of fiddling around with Diddy, bro.
Did Meek Mill sleep with Diddy? Puff Diddy was sued once again, and now Meek is in the mix too. In those legal papers, there's a part where Rodney Jones straight up names a Philly rapper who once dated Nicki Minaj. That's a pretty tight circle, right? Who else could it be? The fans are digging up videos, pics, and stories, and all fingers are pointing at Meek Mill. Diddy's bedroom business should be his and his alone, right? But here's the deal. He's been keeping things on the down low for decades, and there could be more to it than meets the eye. Back in the day, the hip-hop scene was all tough and macho, not exactly welcoming to Diddy's lifestyle. But you know how it goes. Word gets around, especially in the rap game. Some big-name rappers ain't shy about spilling the tea on Diddy's preferences. And yeah, there have been lawsuits before, mostly from women accusing him of some serious stuff. But now it's different. Now, a male producer's stepping up, claiming Diddy did him wrong too. Enter Rodney Lil Jones, dropping a bombshell in a 73-page case, accusing Diddy of... He's dishing out some wild claims about his time producing Diddy's latest jam, the Love album. Picture this, Rodney practically living under Diddy's roof for over a year, and things getting way too...
Food in my leg. What are those chicken patties? They still on? God damn it. Oh, those,
Mira, puñeta. I'm tired of you. I'm tired of you. Don't do it.
Up close and personal. According to his lawsuit, it's a horror story in the making. Rodney's laying it all out, from Diddy making unwanted moves to straight up invading his personal space. I mean, the guy even had to work while Diddy showered in the buff. Talk about awkward. But hold on to your hats because there's more. Rodney's dishing about these alleged secret rendezvous Diddy was orchestrating with escorts, and apparently he wasn't the only one getting tangled in that web. Stevie J and Justin Combs are supposedly in on it too, rounding up young ladies for Diddy's pleasure palace. And here's the kicker. Rodney...
Just dirty niggas.
He's got the receipts. He's claiming he's got footage showing Diddy mixing drinks for underage girls at his shindigs. But wait, there's more insanity. Rodney's spinning this... about Diddy trying to lure him into some twisted relationship. even making him watch what he thought was Stevie J getting busy with another dude. The lawsuit even dropped some bombshell screenshots alleging they showed Stevie J in some compromising positions. Now here's where it gets spicy. So there's this lawsuit, but guess what? No direct names were dropped in the public documents, but social media detectives have been on the case, connecting dots faster than you can refresh your feed. Meek Mill and Usher's names popped up, not because they're accused of any crime, due to some intriguing redactions in the legal documents. Picture this, a mysterious rapper allegedly caught up in some shady business on Diddy's yacht. The document said, rapper, redacted on Mr. Combs' yacht consorting with underage girls, workers. Then the person whose name was kept a secret from use is described as a Philadelphia rapper who dated Nicki Minaj. Cue the speculation. Well, guess who's from Philly and once dated Nicki Minaj? Yep, Meek Mill fits the bill. But hold up, that same description pops up again, this time linked to Stevie J's scandal. Apparently, Diddy pressured Meek and other artists into sleeping with him in exchange for Grammy nominations and awards. Now, about those screenshots floating around, turns out they might not be what they seem. An adult film star swooped in, claiming the images were misidentified. He wrote, "This is not him, it's me, y'all really be trying it." And Stevie J, he's lawyered up, denying all allegations like a pro. Now we've got Yung Miami caught up in the mix too. Rodney's not holding back, throwing some serious shade her way. He's spilling tea about her bringing her own cousin into the mix for some shady dealings with Diddy. We're talking coke-fueled antics and all kinds of sketchiness. The document said Mr. Combs was intoxicated and offered cocaine to Mr. Jones. Mr. Jones rejected him and proceeded to walk to the restroom. While using the restroom, Yung Miami's cousin burst into the bathroom and began groping Mr. Jones. Mr. Jones believes that Mr. Combs sent her in there to Mr. Jones. As she entered the bathroom, she dropped to her knees and began performing oral on Mr. Joni's explosive. Mr. Joni's pushed her away and exited the bathroom. The documents continue. Yung Miami's cousin did not accept Mr. Joni's rejection as she proceeded to follow Mr. Jones out of the bathroom. She started undressing and attempted to straddle him and have sex with him in the presence of Mr. Combs and his staff. Once again, Mr. Jones pushed her off. Rodney wasn't having any of it. He saw what was going down and decided to bounce, and who can blame him? But wait, there's more. Another unnamed rapper and R&B singer also get a shout out in the lawsuit. The rapper, described as Philly-born and Minaj dating, sounds like Meek again, doesn't it? And the R&B singer, hint, Super Bowl performer with a Vegas residency. Connect the dots, people, it's Usher. Now Meek, he got real salty over this whole thing, and he's been ranting on Twitter nonstop. He wrote, "When I got a girl around me, I'm 5%ing her twice a day. Lol, ask some of your favorites. Don't control me, but it's like a high. One love to the people, but that juicy P%, so do it for me. I don't ran red lights to get that feeling y'all weird on here like devil's lol." And every black blog site enhanced that post to make me seem I change laws for our people. I donate millions. They are designed to destroy the image of black leaders. It can't work with me that you gotta really kill me and I still will get bigger after death. Rumor has it that he's been caught following a certain adult Twitter account, but here's what he has to say about that. If y'all real people and letting these computer control y'all minds, y'all done. But you won't believe what the fans' response to this was. Nah, we got you on video, you can't hide. It seems like Meek unfollowed the account after he saw the tweets, but it was too late. He should know by now that fans keep all the receipts. Like, is he forgetting he once tweeted, "This D good as hell"? It's been in front of our eyes this whole time. Now, DJ Akademiks went ahead and ran with the assumption that Meek was the mystery person in all this mess. And let's just say Meek wasn't too pleased about it. Akademiks didn't I tell you stop playing with my name? Ik what I'ma do when I actually see you. It's
I just said that shit. I said what you Diddy Kels, nigga. It's crazy.
It's gonna have a combination to it though. Meek found himself in a heated exchange
Control. I'll fight with this shit.
With Andrew Tate too. Tate commented on Meek's accusations saying, "So P. Diddy was having sex with Meek Mill and Usher." Meek didn't hold back, firing back with, "Was you trafficking women? TF wrong with you, Brody?" in response to Tate's tweet. But Tate wasn't done yet. He replied, "I only asked a question because everyone is saying it happened. It's true or not?" And Meek never replied again. And then he went on with,
Nah, see, that shit crazy. I don't even want to listen to this music no more, man. Got me fucked up, big fella. How you call yourself doing? That shit just crazy, boy, over there. And the money. That motherfucking wild, boy.
more tweets denying what was said about him. "I'm from Philly, I don't do coke or freaky Molly. Nobody won't even offer me coke because I'm that heavy. No man or what would ever approach me about activity and the whole place don't get flipped. Woke up seeing this on every blog like they know I'm coming. Lol. That's why I always come around all these industry guys with my real friends. You never catch me around anybody from the industry alone. You can't even hold a convo without my dog stepping in the room. It's been that way. I can't till y'all find out I'm the illest in this shit lol." In conclusion, he wrote, "The two things they say, we snitching or we generating hundreds of millions from music, it's not a coincidence we all and snitches. They are powering this stuff even if it's fake. The goal is to disrupt the hip-hop community. I own this music that dropped tomorrow, play it." Meek isn't the only one strongly denying these allegations. Diddy's lawyer is also working full-time to make this whole thing disappear. She's also calling Lil Rod a liar seeking a payday. Lil Rod is nothing more than a liar who filed a $30 million lawsuit shamelessly looking for an undeserved payday, Holly said. His reckless name dropping about events that are pure fiction and simply did not happen is nothing more than a transparent attempt to garner headlines. We have overwhelming, indisputable proof that his claims are complete lies. Our attempts to share this proof with Mr. Jones's attorney, Tyrone Blackburn, have been ignored as Mr. Blackburn refuses to return our calls. We will address these
people are crazy.
Outlandish allegations in court and take all appropriate action against those who make them. This year has been lethal for Diddy, and he's bringing down all these artists with him. They probably thought no one would ever find out. They were wrong. Now the whole world knows, and fans are having a field day with this new Meek Mill information. They're making memes like Meek Mill pulling up at Diddy's house. And look at this video of Diddy calling Meek daddy.
Just that shit.
Man, you doing it, man. You deserve it, daddy. You putting in that work. Proud of you. I love you. Yeah.
Fans are finally putting the pieces together. It's all making sense now why Diddy called Meek Mill daddy. It all makes sense now. Now the question remains, did he or did he not? Is what's being said about Meek Mill true?
I don't know. How about you?
Damn, guys, things are getting super wild with the drama around Diddy. This week, an unexpected event took place involving two of Diddy's houses in the United States. They were subjected to raids by police forces. In a completely separate turn of events, Diddy's private jet, a sleek black Gulfstream 5, which he has proudly shown off and used for travel over the years, was located far from the U.S. on the ground in Antigua. Antigua is a beautiful island in the Caribbean, known for its stunning beaches and clear waters. TMZ, a news outlet, tracked down Diddy's jet by examining its recent flight activities. Their findings revealed that the jet had been active in California just before the incident, taking off from Sacramento Executive Airport late Sunday afternoon around 5:30 p.m. and arriving at Palm Springs International Airport roughly an hour later. However, one big question remains unanswered. Is Diddy actually on his jet? So far, there's no concrete evidence to confirm his presence on the plane during these travels. Moreover, the details surrounding the jet's current status and activities in Antigua are still unclear. Adding to the intrigue, the raids on Diddy's properties unfolded on Monday, with law enforcement agencies descending upon his homes in Los Angeles and Miami. The scenes were intense, with armed officers storming the residences. During these operations, several individuals were detained by the police, including two of Diddy's sons, Justin and King. At this point, it remains uncertain if any formal arrests were made following the raids. This series of events has sparked a lot of questions and speculation, leaving fans and observers eager for more information on the reasons behind the raids and Diddy's whereabouts during these turbulent times. The raids are believed to have stemmed from accusations hurled at Diddy in multiple lawsuits, which have touched on alleged human and sex trafficking, among other claims, all of which he's all denied. About an hour later, at 7:30 p.m. Pacific time, Diddy's jet left Palm Springs and flew to Van Nuys Airport, located in the Los Angeles area. This trip took about 30 minutes, and the jet arrived around 8 p.m. Then, the next morning at around 9 a.m., the jet took off from Van Nuys and made its way to Antigua. Right now, the plane is sitting there in Antigua. Even though the flight tracking hasn't updated to show it has officially landed, there's no doubt it's Diddy's jet. But hold on, the tea doesn't end there. No, sir. Because Cat Williams also has some pretty juicy things to say about Diddy. He's saying that Diddy actually tried to off Jamie Foxx last year after Jamie decided he didn't want to be part of Diddy's really wild parties anymore. Remember when Jamie had that super scary health problem last year? It turns out it wasn't just a random illness. Cat Williams is saying that Diddy was behind it all. This story is super crazy, and Cat didn't leave out any details. Now, everyone's asking why Cat is talking about this now, and if he's actually trying to cause more trouble for Diddy on purpose. The timing is making people really curious, and it seems like there might be more to this story that we haven't heard yet. Okay, so at this point, it's pretty clear that some really influential people are behind all the trouble Diddy is facing. The more we find out about him, the clearer it becomes that Diddy was allegedly part of some really down bad stuff for a long time. And if you think about it, if Diddy has been getting away with all this alleged behavior for over 20 years, why is it all coming out now? Cat Williams.
Yeah, see? That's the shit. Why is it coming out now? You know why? They were scared. They were scared. They were scared.
Hey, what's up, King Son? Hey, what's up, King Son? Man, you doing it, man. You deserve it, Daddy. You putting in that work. Proud of you. I love you. Yeah.
Okay, let's address the elephant in the room, all the allegations. Are you attracted to men or women?
It depends on my mood, my vibe.
Is it true that you've had sexual relations with Meek Mill?
I can't tell you that.
It has been reported that recently, Meek Mill confronted 50 Cent over allegations of exposing his supposed gay affairs. The confrontation comes after 50 Cent shared controversial content hinting at Meek's involvement with other men, sparking heated tension between the two. Meek Mill reportedly confronted 50 Cent over recent Instagram jabs, where 50 poked fun at rumors linking Meek to Diddy. The feud sparked after 50 shared a video of someone in a red dress with the caption, "Meek Mill leaving Diddy's house before deleting it." Sources reveal tension growing as Meek confronts 50 over the public mockery. The news surrounding Meek and Diddy game
No, 50 posted it.
caption, "Meek Mill leaving Diddy's house before deleting it." Sources reveal tension growing as Meek confronts 50 over the public mockery. The news surrounding Meek and Diddy gained interest after Rodney Jones filed a lawsuit alleging sexual assault against the Bad Boy mogul. In the filing, Jones claimed Diddy coerced him into sex by alluding to other artists he had been involved with. Although the name
But what's wrong with the basement though? Because I don't understand what's wrong with it.
names were withheld, footnotes hinted at a rapper from Philadelphia who had a past relationship with Nicki Minaj. Amidst mounting legal troubles, Diddy faces yet another lawsuit, this time from Lil Rod, a male producer alleging sexual misconduct. In the lawsuit, Lil Rod accuses Diddy of inappropriate touching, showing explicit videos, and engaging in illicit activities. The filing hints at Diddy boasting about relationships with two celebrities with their identities redacted. One of them is described as a Philadelphia rapper who dated Nicki Minaj, while the other is said to have performed at the Super Bowl and had a successful Vegas residency. Speculation quickly arose, with social media users suggesting the individuals could be Meek Mill and Usher, based on clues provided in the lawsuit. Meek Mill recently has taken to Twitter X to proudly deny the allegations, refuting any involvement in Diddy's purported misconduct. However, fans continue to scrutinize evidence seemingly supporting Lil Rod's claims. However, the recent lawsuit against Diddy has stirred up more explosive allegations. Following Lil Rod's accusations of misconduct, attention turns to two redacted names in the lawsuit. Academics delved into the 70-plus page document uncovering allegations that Diddy claims to have engaged in sexual relations with rapper